Good afternoon. We are here at the Festival of Media Asia. We are in the Bridal Suite, which is otherwise known as the M&M Global Media Hub. I'm here with Graham Christie from Big Mobile, who has just come off of the stage after presenting the first slot after the afternoon break. Graham, how did it go?
You didn't tell me it was a bridal suite until we got in here.
Sorry, I was keeping that a secret.
Yeah, good. Really active audience, I think. It was post-break, so everyone was sugared up and caffeined up. But mobiles played such a strong. It's been such a strong thread and theme throughout the first day. I think the delegates were up for hearing more.
Absolutely, I think so. I don't think they could get enough. And when we were out in the market doing research, mobile was one of the big things. I was super impressed by the stat that in 2017, 50% of the world's smartphones will be owned in Asia. I mean, from an ad point of view, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that really does. I mean, Asia Pacific is already, I think, a powerhouse for mobile as a marketing opportunity, but it's going to keep going from strength to strength. And it's not just the fact that that's 50% of smartphones. It's actually by that time how powerful those smartphones will be. So they'll be very large, very powerful, with beautiful screens and fantastic interactive capabilities. So I think we're really talking about Asia Pacific becoming the leading market worldwide.
An interesting stat. It is, but are brands actually now taking advantage of that? Are you still kind of getting quite frustrated that some of the agencies, some of the brands aren't quite taking a big enough advantage of the capabilities that are there in Asia?
Yeah. No, I'm a very frustrated man, and I think that what I think where we are now is it's mission critical, or mobile is mission critical, I think, and should be for every brand marketer. But the reality is that the talent that CMO, for instance, has at his or her disposal is very inconsistent. So when they're looking over their marketing departments, they're seeing mixed capabilities. They're seeing strengths in some areas and weaknesses in others. And of course, in big organizations, you don't want to be the one to really mess up the brand and be investing money in the wrong place or not being able to prove a business case. And I think the point that was made by one of the speakers earlier it was bang on in terms of be prepared to fail, look at what's called minimum viable products, test and learn and iterate, build the case, prove the concept, and take colleagues and departments and stakeholders organizationally with you through that journey. And I think, yes, there is a little bit, organizations are too passive, they're not nearly aggressive enough within mobile, and the ones that are will be the ones that win. The ones that are already leap years ahead, and some verticals like banking and finance across Asia Pacific would be considered to be the leaders at a category or a vertical level. Those sorts of organizations are already pulling away from the mainstream. So yes, it's mission critical, and people have to get braver.
Absolutely. It's very interesting you mentioned the banking industry as well, because it's not an industry you'd automatically think, I know obviously payment-wise is quite advanced, but it's not an industry you'd think, wow, you'd think fashion, potentially sports, music, but finance is the leader in the Asian world.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's one very simple reason: they've got deep pockets. So they can afford to experiment and spend lots of money seeing what works and see what doesn't, seeing what propensity the consumer base has to mobile and marketing of their services on mobile. And I think that is one of the areas that's going to play out as well, is not just about paid advertising but about owned media as well as earned media, and those three areas starting to come together as well. And again, banking and finance, just to name them, automotive to a lesser degree, perhaps media and entertainment as well would round out the top three of the sorts of verticals which are poised to really pull away from the pack because of their consistent investment over the last 5 to 10 years.
And if you had to pick one or two brands or a couple of examples of amazing case studies that are really getting it right and understanding mobile and delivering results, who would you choose?
Look, there's the good thing is there's really good examples across all categories. But just to dwell on banking a little bit more, HSBC have been a very progressive mobile marketer. Certainly moving into packaged goods Cadbury definitely, Mars as well, Coca-Cola clearly are spending quite a bit of investment. I think Unilever deserve quite considerable notoriety because of the sheer emphasis they put on mobile. And if you look at Unilever across Asia Pacific, you see an organization that is one of those which is all in on mobile. So really, all verticals have superstars in mobile, and that's really pleasing. It's not the top 5 in each vertical market that's got the issue. It's the bottom 5, and what are those companies and those verticals going to do? Because they're already playing catch up. Some of them know it, some of them don't yet know it. So time is now, I think.
And you're right, it's a very scary time. I've heard, not so much on stage today, but from talking to some of the other delegates, that actually forget about being mobile first. It's almost mobile only in Asia at some point.
Yes, I think that's true, and I think there are some markets where they're not skipping desktop and not skipping what we would consider to be traditional online, but they aren't burdened by the need to migrate business models and consumer behaviours away from online. The first instance that consumers would have of the internet is on a mobile or tablet device. So I think whether it's mobile only or whether it's mobile first, there are some emerging markets and very populous emerging markets which are going to be really speeding up quite considerably in terms of their mobile market, and other markets which are more advanced, which do have the task of trying to navigate that migration between desktop to mobile. It's happening in every single market at slightly different speeds. It's inevitable what the outcome is, but managing that risk and managing that operational and capital expenditure to invest responsibly in that journey is probably a bit of a headache for a lot of organisations.
Absolutely, I think you're right, and we could sit here all day and talk mobile because I've got plenty more questions to come. But I figured I better wind up because we're coming to the end of the day. What and who has been your favourite session so far, and what do you think of the content so far on day one?
Look, I think I'm really impressed. I last year missed the Festival of Media by about a month, and when I came to Singapore, people were talking about it, and I was sort of annoyed that I hadn't made the effort to get involved. So it hasn't let me down at all. I think the first day has been really good. I've liked the not snacking, but the 20-minute to 25-minute sessions. I think it's good. It's giving people a great coverage across all the hot topics without getting too bogged down in content and perhaps losing delegates along the way. So I really loved that. I particularly liked the Huawei representative and the way he was talking about the philosophy of marketing and mobile playing a role in that as well. And that was a really interesting session.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Graham. Enjoy the rest of the festival, and we'll see you over the next couple of days.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.